Excuse me. That didn't pick that up. And of course it did, as always. All right, so I want to be able to see the camera. The meeting is being live streamed. Okay. Hello, Lori. How are you today? I decided I'd come on a couple of minutes early. I've got hubby off to the doctor. He's going to talk to his doc today. And I've got some preparation done for us. Got some pretty fabric though. You seen this? I thought this was a little more masculine looking than some of the other ones I've been using. Yeah, so you can hear me too. Yay. I wasn't sure because the camera decided to change my default microphone while I was logging in. And I was like, what's up with that? Giving my little pieces a little bit of heat love. Oh, I have, isn't it cute? It's from the Doggone It line. I have a layer cake of it, and I kept looking at it going, what am I going to use these for? Because these are not girly. They look cute in a quilt. You can hear me? Okay, good. And this fabric doesn't do it justice. Let's see. We turn on this bright light over here. Ooh, does that show the glittery now? I won't be able to keep that light on the whole time. And then the inside pockets, that is a purple. The shadow probably shows it better. And then this is purple with gold in it. This is all part of that Doggone It. And that's the same, that's a green inside of that, which those are the colors I'm liking right now. Whoa, that's a little too bright in the eyes. Yeah, isn't it cute? I was sitting here yesterday or day before, and I was like, I need to make the kids some wallets for Christmas because when we stayed with the stepdaughter during the hurricane, her son said that his wallet was worn out. That's why he wasn't carrying it anymore. And I thought, well, I need to make some more. And the first colors I pulled out were, of course, girly colors because I'm going to end up probably carrying the prototype, or Wayne will. So I thought, yeah, let's make these. And these are a little more masculine. And I had made all of them, let's see, last year or the year before, I made everybody wallets for Christmas out of Spider-Man and Marvel Comics fabrics, which my stepdaughter's husband is really into Marvel. Their like whole house is decorated with Marvel stuff. So I said, yeah, let's, and he loved it. He thought it was absolutely awesome. And I wanted to make a pattern that was friendly for people to be able to make out of a pre-cut that they already had. So what I've done, I'm kind of trying to wait for more people to get here so I don't have to repeat measurements a half a dozen times. Oh yeah, the kids loved it. I also made the littlest boys all vests out of the Spider-Man fabric. And I just used the Spider-Man on the front and then used, I think I used white on one, red on one, blue on another for the backs and the insides of them. But I have pictures of all the little ones wearing their vests to school, which is really cool. So I was looking for a free wallet pattern. Everything I found was meh. And I thought, nope, I'll just write my own. So what are you doing today, Lori? I think you said earlier something about snow. that you guys were going to get snow today. We're not getting snow in Florida. No snow. That's a good thing. I will take it. And I figured since I went live a little bit early, Miss Colleen might get here. Well, we'll go ahead and start cutting. As people come in, we'll just have to tell them what we're doing. How's that angle for the cut table? Let's see. There you go. Gives you a little more view of it. The fabric's got gold in it in between all the little colors. So in real life, it looks a whole lot like candy. And what I'm doing, this is going to be the outside. Hey, Tracy, how are you? I wrote a pattern for a wallet. And I'm previewing it today. This is part of stuff I'm making for Christmas. So I figured I would show you guys how to make it. Since you're here, you get to see it earlier than everybody else. And then I need 10 wide, 3, 4, 5, 6.5. And it's a free pattern. I mean, wallets are wallets. They're not hard to make. Still working on Zach's quilt. Are you quilting it now? Or are you working on other blocks? Now that you've got all the letters and stuff done. And this is extra. I'm just going to set it off to the side. I may decide to use it inside. You never know. But this is going to be the outside of my wallet. So that'll look like that. And I may take it down a little less wide in the next version. But so far, it seems to be okay. I just messed that up. I'm going to have to use a different one for the outside. Sorry. That's okay. The white's going to be the outside. Because 8 by 6.5 is the inside pocket, but that'll be fine. Not a problem. So we'll do this one 8 inches. I did put some iron-on interfacing. Awesome, Tracy. I put a lightweight, I think it's SF 101, because that's what I have lots of, as an interfacing here. Okay, that's fine. This will be my money pocket. And I have my iron on. I'm going to iron everything down as I go. Hey, Colleen. Figure I'll make my big boo-boos with you guys. And then when I film the video, it'll be perfect. So there's my money pocket. And then out of this one, I need 2 pieces. I'm going to trim this edge here. Can you guys see what I'm doing? I'm going to trim this edge here to get rid of those little fuzzy edges. I hate those things. And then I need 5 and 4.5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This is my own pattern that I wrote for a wallet. And I'm showing it to you guys first since you're always here. Yeah, well, I made 2 samples and still wanted to make changes. 2, 3, 4.5. But what I'm using is pieces of from a layer cake. And the idea behind that was even if I messed something up, I still had coordinating fabric that would go with it. But what we've got here is one of the inside pockets. I had done these so that you just did half the fabric and then fold it over and put a hem in it. But in the prototypes, I don't like that because then you can see the back side of the fabric and the interfacing. And that's not, I don't think that looks great. Okay. Hi, Sylvia. I'm going to move you guys up just a hair so you can see the sewing machine. As long as the camera lets me move it. Move my interfacing out of the way. And I have a blue thread in here. What I'm going to do is along the top edge of each of these where I ironed this, I'm going to just sew a quick little, I'm doing about 1/4 of an inch along the top. More for looks than stability here. One. Making sure that they're all straight. And this is super quick to make. And I think it's super cute. One more. And I did interface all my fabrics to give it a little bit more stiffness, guys. Okay, so here is the 3 pieces for the inside pockets. What I'm going to do is I'm lining them up along the sides and the bottom right here. And I'm not sure how well you can see that, but what I've got now is 3 little pockets. I'm going to sew them together along these sides here, just so that nothing moves. And you could use a basting stitch for this. You don't necessarily have to have a super small stitch, because we are going to sew around this. And then I'm going to take this, and you guys can mark it if you want or use a ruler, but I'm just folding it in half. This is my own pattern for the wallet, Tracy. I made it up. And what I did was I just folded it over in half and took the iron and marked it right here with the iron. Yeah, it's a great way to use pre-cuts, I think. The only thing I don't think I like about using the folded over is it makes that seam thicker. And this is the beauty of this, okay? I just thought this was so clever of me to come up with. World's best cheerleader. Yes, she is. All right, I've got my little pockets here. You can see there's my money pocket. And I'm going to lay it down so that the bottom and sides line up with the right side of this wallet piece. Okay. And then I'm going to bring this over. It's going to be a thick seam. Like I said, this is the prototype. And I'm using my fingers to finger press it down. Let's see. And then before I sew that down, I want to do one more thing. On the sides here, where it matches up with the sides of the wallet, I'm going to go ahead and baste again and baste the pocket part to the front part of the wallet. I keep finding that is an issue whenever I make the prototypes here. And I'm going to baste down the bottom edge, another 1/4 of an inch there, or scant 1/4 inch. And then up that other side. And I'm getting as close to the edge as I can. Okay. Now that I've basted it down, nothing's coming apart. Then we're going to fold this over. Now, the way I've been doing this is I've been using one of the ends as my open end and folding it over and ironing it. And I'm using my fingers to baste everything because I want to make sure that this edge over here, when I sew this down, it doesn't sew that money pocket in there. We are the best group of people ever. We have a blast. If you guys have suggestions or comments or dreams about what I'm doing, please say something. All right. Come on, computer. Give me the camera. That camera is being a pain. I have to use this one. The other one decided it wasn't going to work anymore. Okay, so I'm going to start on the side that doesn't have all the edges. And we're going to sew down this top edge. But I want you to make sure that you run your finger along the edge of that money pocket. Yeah, you should have video back now, Tracy. But you're going to run your finger along the edge of that money pocket so that you don't catch the edge of that money pocket in your sewing. And we're going to back stitch when we start sewing here, because we are going to use that end to turn out. And I want to make absolutely sure that we don't have a rip seam at that end. Okay. Now I'm going to turn and I'm going to back stitch there too. Because I am going to trim those seams to get bulk out of them. Now down here at the bottom, this is why I didn't initially fold over the fabric. You've got quite a few layers of fabric, so go slow. I'm back stitching there. Okay. I'm trying to make sure I'm in camera view. Hi, Beverly. How are you? I haven't seen you in a while. I hope you haven't been ill. And I'm trimming my corners, but I'm not getting into my stitching down there. I also, at that far end, I don't know if you guys caught that, so I want to show it. I trimmed off down to about 1/8 of an inch at this far end, just to pull as much bulk as possible out of that seam. Because when I turn this over, I don't want a bulky seam if I can help it. Okay, and didn't actually trim out Oops, bring it back towards me. That's about how much I trimmed off. Haven't been on a while. Ooh, you have a new grandbaby coming, Beverly? I think that you're probably past baby. Okay, and I am going to now turn my wallet out, and this is why I made sure I backstitched. You want dibs to test it out? All right, Tracy. You guys are all getting dibs on it because I wrote this to use for Christmas gifts. And this is the third one I've made with this pattern, and I keep refining it. But yeah, it's not going to be a paid pattern. It's just a freebie. Oh, yeah. My husband's got sciatica, Beverly, and boy, I feel for you. That stuff is hard. Now, I'm trying to be careful when I turn this out so I don't rip any seams. And of course, my hands are loving this. Yeah, not. Anybody who knows me knows that that's sarcasm. My hands hate everything. And I came armed with my secret weapon today. Not too bad, Sherlock. Once I get, the hardest part is turning that piece out. And then I've got, like I said, my secret weapon. The chopstick. I couldn't think of what it was called for a minute. You guys can laugh at me. I think that me cutting that black wrong was a happy accident, though. And if you'll see, I'm kind of pushing the corners down here at this end. I'm going to put the pointy end of the chopstick in there to get this corner. And that corner is bulky, which that's why it's giving me a fit on wanting to turn out the way I want it to. I'm going to take a pen. See, this is the stuff you got to work out before you start saying, hey, I've got a pattern to share. I did put a teaser in my short that I put up at noon, so you guys could kind of see what I was going for. And then I'm going to take this to the iron, but I'm trying to show it to you there. See the seam along the bottom? I'm trying to roll that seam so that it goes down at the bottom of the wallet. Let me get my finger in there. And then I'll iron this all really good. Let me do that real quick. Bye, Colleen. Be careful, please. I think she said she was starting to get some snow earlier, too. But I'm making sure that my little seam is at the top and the bottom when I iron this, because I am going to top stitch all the way around. Arthur driving and sewing. Yeah. That is the trifecta. You won the lottery. And I'm just being picky about my corners here. So can you guys see how that corner is still rolled in a little bit? I'm just trying to lift it up out of there. Because of course I'm going to be taking pictures of mine to show them off for you guys. A thin WPC waterproof canvas. It might be. It might be. But I wanted to show this was something that people would have. And not everybody like you and I as a bag maker. Okay, now we've got this open end that we need to deal with. And what I'm going to do with it is I'm going to fold it over, and this is why I left it 10 inches instead of cutting it a bit shorter. I'm going to fold it in a 1/2 inch on both sides, all the way around, and make sure that that tucks. And I did try this sewing the corners like you would on, um, like you would on like a pot holder or something. But when I did that, that edge right here of the pockets didn't catch. Doing is I'm making sure these edges match each other and just folding it in. Hands are the problem. You guys know this for me. And this is why I ironed it before I turned that. Awesome. Okay, now this seam is going to be thick, and you're just going to have to sew through it when you do it. You could also, if you wanted, put your turning seam down here at the bottom. Hello, Faith. How are you? I am trying out a new pattern on you guys. Now, this seam is short enough that I don't feel like I need a clip right there to hold it. Your mileage may vary. And I'm still using my fingers to flatten things out. This is going to be the hard part of it because the Juki doesn't like really thick seams. So you may have to walk it through. The jeans needle would probably help. But I'm doing about 1/4 inch there. Remember, I folded over a 1/2 inch. And I'm sewing really slow just so I get through that whole seam. Okay. Okay, up to that corner, and then the money pocket part of it, you want to pull back out of your way and just do an 1/8 inch top stitch. That was why I was trying to get everything ironed down. And of course, because that's thinner, it just goes through it really fast. All right, now the other end, same thing. I'm going to sew slowly because it's going through all that fabric. Okay. This prototype has issues too, guys. You used the waterproof canvas to make the trash bag. I don't know if you guys can see that. I just bent my needle. So when I finish the pattern, I need to write it so that you use single layers of fabric for those pockets because that double layer is just too thick. And the reason I changed that, see here, where I used the single layers of fabric, you can see the interfacing on the back of the pockets. And I didn't really like the way that looked. It is definitely bent. But I think the single layer is better because it doesn't bend your needle. I'm getting ready to put a new needle in the machine. Yeah, it's bent. And it probably would have broke if I was trying to go fast. But that's why you test out patterns before you start handing them out to people, right? I have written patterns for other things, but I've never written a wallet pattern before. I got to remember how that folds like that. Now, Lori, you may want to look away because trying to put a needle is a whole lot harder for you to take the needle out. But thankfully, I have needles handy to be able to do this. And with the Juki, if you're putting the needle in, there's a flat side on the back of most needles. For the Juki, that flat side goes to the right instead of to the back. So when I put this needle in, I want to make sure that my flat side goes to the right. And there are needle inserters made for putting needles in. I have one today. My hands are pretty good, so I'm going to use my hands. Getting the screwdriver to tighten up my needle might be a little harder. But this is why I did it, kind of on a live for you guys, so you guys could make suggestions. Oops. Pulled the thread right back out as soon as I got it threaded. Of course they did. That's the way it goes, right? All right. So let's try this again. And obviously I'm going to go very, very slow because I don't want to break another needle. But I didn't put my needles away either. Try to pull out that corner real quick while we're here. Detergent bottles are great too. We used those for my son when he was first diagnosed as diabetic, because they didn't have needle sharps containers available to buy, like, for John Q. Public. And I'm walking my needle at this point here, guys. All right. And now we're at the bottom of the wallet. It doesn't seem to be having any issue. I'm back stitching there. Okay, so we got through that with only breaking one needle. I have Lancet Sharps containers now, but I didn't back then. And I've got threads everywhere, but there's my little wallet. And I'll iron it again and cut off all the threads. Let me give it a press real quick. Yeah, Sharps containers weren't available at one point here. You had to get them from the hospital or the doctor's office. Now you can buy them over the counter. But it was really bizarre to me because I could go into the pharmacy and I could buy insulin without a prescription. That's how essential it is to life. But I couldn't buy needles or sharps containers. So there's my little wallet. We've got a pocket for money. And I like the fabrics that contrast well together. And then I've got 2 pockets on each side to hold cards. I know this holds cards because we tried them in there last night. I'm still snipping threads. I laid that right down in my garbage. I could add a button on front and it would hold it shut. Yeah, I'm kind of aiming at making these for little boys. And I don't know if they want their buttons to their wallets to button shut. Let me move this camera up here so you can see me. Sorry, moving. Okay. And I don't know what I did with the pattern that I had. That's why I had to write my own. Because nothing I found online was similar to this. But that's the wallet. There's its little pockets inside. So I think that that is appropriate for a boy, except for the glittery gold stuff, maybe. And here is the purple with its little pockets inside. And because these pockets aren't double fold, they're a little less sturdy than those. Yeah, I do have cam snaps. I thought about that. And then this one is green and purple. And I turned on the light earlier, not to blind you guys, but just so that I would have a little more light to kind of show that is doggone it fabric. Yeah, it's from this layer cake, the Doggone It by Ann Lauer of Grizzly Gulch Gallery. This is one that So Yeah is always selling, or was always selling. I don't know if they still are. They may have finally sold out, but it was like every time I watched So Yeah, they had some of this. And I ended up getting that, I think, in a mystery box. Hey, Julie, you can't be late. Yeah, faux leather would be great. Well, hello, Hot to It. How are you, Lois? But you know, I thought these were cute, and literally you can make them in 5 minutes. I think I am going to change my pattern back though to just doing the top edge, folding over that top edge and hemming it down rather than a double layer. This wallet, this one is not flimsy at all. This one is how I did the earlier ones, and it's pretty flimsy. This one has the SF101, so it's not too bad. But I think of the three, I like the weight of this one best. This one's great, except you don't want to be breaking domestic machine needles whenever you're sewing. I like it too. I thought, like I said, I've got 21 grandkids, so I could make all of them wallets and put a $5 bill in them and they'd all be thrilled, probably. And that leaves me, I don't want to be in full screen mode. Thank you very much. That leaves me with this for scraps from each of these wallets. I'll have a little more from the one that I made the pockets out of. Yeah. Oh yeah, you could put a recessed pocket, a zipper pocket, or you know, I actually was thinking about doing one that was zippered all around, but doing the zipper all around is a little more involved than just sewing up a wallet. And for little kid hands, which is kind of what I was thinking of, I think zippers may be too hard to operate. Yeah, Sherlock. Lori, my brain just, you know, even when I watch like Victoria at Seems Legit, Tori, even when I watch her and she's doing her own bag patterns, I'm sitting there going, ooh, I could change that and I could do this and I could do the other. And I think that's the mark of a creative person, you know, so I'm not, I mean, this pattern is super simple. I'm literally going to write down the steps I took and give you measurements, but I wanted to see what it was like if I doubled over that fabric. And like I said, it makes that seam down there just way too thick, and I never could turn that corner pocket out. Whereas on this one, you know, the seam isn't super thick. You can get a decent corner on that edge. And maybe I round those corners out instead of making them squared. because rounded corners would probably work better. But this is the stuff you figure out. I mean, like I said, I've never really written a pattern before. I've written my own purse patterns, but I just thought this was a great little quick sew that you could make, and you can use these. Yeah, rounded corners would be great. And you could, make up a dozen of these in a couple of days. I mean, even me, I've made these three. I think two I made yesterday afternoon, and this third one, you saw how long that took. It was under half an hour, and that was trying to talk at the same time. So I don't think that's too bad. And then the little bits that are left over, since I'm Lissa Sherlock, I am. My family calls me Lissa instead of Melissa. But anyway, the little pieces that are left over would be really cute if you worked them into something else. You could put them into scrap fabric for a quilt for them. You could put them into a Christmas stocking if you're making stockings too. And yeah, I think it would work out really well. Like I said, I like this color palette in this layer cake, the doggone it. And you guys, I know I just showed the whole thing, but see that dog fabric? I have a stepdaughter who is absolutely dog crazy. And every time I see that dog fabric, I just think about her. So that may get turned into a wallet for her, but she'll probably get a grown-up wallet and not one of these foldovers. So I'm hoarding that dog fabric. Sherlock, we're all always learning. I think that's the reason YouTube channels are so popular, is everybody gets a chance to teach the way they teach. Isn't that dog fabric cute? Yeah, that's what finally. Hi, Del Ball. How are you today? I don't recognize your name. I don't know what Dubrew is, West Powers, or Spock. Hi. But I don't know. It might be our buddy from Russia that was here earlier in the week. So that's why I'm hesitating. If it is a troll, well, then, you guys know what to do. But so far, I'm thinking maybe it's our friend. Yeah, but I think the dog fabric would make a cute, like, necessary clutch wallet. It wouldn't be big enough to do the outside, but it would make the insides of it really nicely. So I'm kind of like, yeah, let's see what we can do there. And like I said, Sherlock, I don't recognize the name, but I've grown up a whole lot in the last like 30 days. We've doubled our subscriber count, so could possibly be a legitimate subscriber. Delball, do you sew? Are you looking for finding out how to make a wallet? Because we just made one on the live with some nice pockets inside. And if you're a guy, you want to weigh in your opinion on the fabrics. Do you like them? Oh, the NCW is awesome. I need to make a new video for the NCW. I really do. And maybe that's something I should do this month, because my old one, let's just say it needs to be revamped a bit. Now, I have some news. You guys want me to let you in on a secret? Or is anybody interested in a secret? You may not be. The NCW is a really nice sew. I like it better with the snaps in the sides of it, but yeah, it's not bad at all. I'm not sure who makes a necessary clutch wallet. I want to say Emmeline, but I don't think so. I do have it on my computer, but I can't click between here and there without losing the picture. It looks like we're going to be moving very quickly. My husband's health is affected, and Emmeline. I was thinking Emmeline. Yeah, my secret is we're probably going to be moving. I'm gonna lose my country house. We haven't decided exactly where yet, but we need to downsize, and hubby needs to be able to work less and play more because he's totally stressed. You guys know that he had a stroke last December, and he's having some major issues at work and at home. He's fine, Sylvia. He's fine. But we initially thought he didn't have any fallout from the stroke, and we're starting to see some signs. As a matter of fact, he's going to see his neurologist today. I sent him there. We have a potential in mind, and Jenny and the cows will be staying here if this person buys the property, and they won't have to move anywhere. They will be right in their little environment and have a good time. So yeah, we've already talked to them about that. We're just waiting on final answers from the owner of the farm behind us. They had made us an offer before and we had turned it down, but because of Wayne's health and stuff, it's time. It's time. We had planned to retire here, and they could carry us out boots first. He's pretty much okay, Sherlock. I'm just worried. We weren't planning on selling and moving, but my husband's health comes before our wish to stay in this house. It really does. I'd rather keep Wayne than the house if it comes right down to it. So that's why we're looking at it. We have an idea. We don't know yet, Tracy. We are contemplating a couple of different places. We're thinking about moving up to be near my son and his daughter. All depends on jobs and what the doctor tells him today. Yeah, Wayne has to come first always. Well, we've thought about that, Sherlock. We definitely have, because we have my oldest son and one of my husband's daughters lives up there, but everything comes down to finances and his health. So it depends on what the doctor tells him today and whether or not he qualifies for any kind of disability exactly. Yeah, definitely a keeper, and he is irreplaceable. Yeah. I keep saying I'm gonna go first, but I don't know what I'd do if he went first. That would be I don't want to find out. How's that? I don't want to find out what I'd do if he went first. So yeah, whatever it takes to keep my husband healthy and safe is what we are going to do. And if that involves selling our house and moving, that's what we'll do. It will take us forever to clear our house, Sylvia. I'm sorry. I have already started thinking about that. I went back and took a stress nap this morning because I was so, oh my gosh, about it. But I've already started making some arrangements on stuff like that. I have called to find out about a dumpster. I mean, and can't do anything for sure until we have the final offer in hand. And then I'm going to probably hire help. We'll see what I can afford, or I'm going to call all the kids. We have 6 adult kids and 4 of them live in Florida. Thank you, Sylvia. I appreciate it. And I think they can come help because one of them, at least one of them, is probably going to get the contents of our chest freezer. So I think it wouldn't be too much to ask them to help us clear an area out in order for them to take home the contents of the freezer. And Wayne's like, oh, just let them take the freezer. And I'm like, okay, we'll see. I don't know that I'm game for that, but if you want something, you could probably help us out a little bit, at least in my opinion. So first and foremost is my husband. Number one, what I'm doing real quick is sewing up that piece of fabric I was worrying with. Because I'm thinking, Tracy said snaps, and I was like, ooh, snaps. It will. So your leftover pieces could be used to make a little strap. You could put Velcro or a snap there. And that would hold your little wallets in a pile for you. Or you could use the straps for other things. I'm always trying to keep track of cords for cameras and stuff. You could do that. Your kids took over and downsized you when you moved to your bungalow. Oh, nice. Very nice. Yeah, I'm not sure that the kids would want to go quite that far. But there's quite a bit of stuff here that could go somewhere else. And of course, our Goodwill's gone, so we can't just donate it to Goodwill. But there are other thrift stores, and I have to figure out furniture and all that stuff. Oh yes, Tracy, that was the first priority. So, and we're looking, like I said, probably somewhere around my oldest son or his daughter. It's called a ladder stitch, Beverly. And I did a ladder stitch in a video, but I don't, I'm not capable of doing that today. I did it in the Dachshund video. Yeah, it's called a ladder stitch. Yeah, I'm trying to avoid steps if I can. And we spent hours on the phone last night with my son and his wife, looking at various areas near where they're at, looking at properties to kind of see what we wanted, because if the move happens as fast as I am afraid it will, they may have to actually go look at a property and put an offer down for us. So we looked, I think we want a ranch. I would like to have a finished basement, but I don't want my laundry room in the basement. And the reason I don't isn't because I'm too lazy to walk stairs. It's because there are periods of time where I'm incapable of walking stairs with my arthritis. We have 7 steps that come up into the house. And the first time that it happened to me, I literally had to scoot my butt up the steps, one step at a time. And then Wayne had to help me stand up because I couldn't do it with my knees. When the arthritis gets the knees, I'm done. I'm like out. So yeah, that was definitely an eye opener. I was like, really? Hello, trash bag fashion lover. Do you make fashion out of trash bags? No. Sylvia or Tracy? Yeah, the ladder stitch is pretty cool. Yeah, definitely. Yeah, definitely. Sylvia, you and I worked together there. Yeah, I definitely want a single story, I think. Um, all we're looking for as far as livestock is to be able to have a small garden and some chickens. So yeah, we're definitely downsizing. Be gone. Oh my. As what's his face? Sulu says. Oh my. But so I sewed that up and just wrapped it around. But I'll probably be putting, those in some Christmas stockings. And then I'll use the other scraps. I think I am going to write it though, so that you just fold over the top edge of the pocket pieces instead of doing a complete fold over of the fabric, because that seam gets so thick at the bottom. And then I'm going to also be showing how to applique on those. When I make the full video for it, I'll be showing how to do an applique, like initial or something on there, or design, so that, if you wanted to make identical wallets like I did last year, then you could applique an A on for Adam and a B for Bobby or whatever, as far as the letters. But yeah, Faith, we're not going to have any big livestock when we move. That's part of the things that Wayne doesn't want to take care of anymore. Not that he has issues with taking care of them. He's having problems remembering to take care of them. He'll get up, and it's part of his routine, but sometimes he goes out and feeds and waters, and then he comes back, and 2 hours later he'll jump in and he'll go, oh my gosh, I forgot to feed and water the cows. And I'm like, no, you did it. But I don't always pay attention to whether he did it or not. So it helps if it might help if he didn't have that responsibility on him. I mean, I'll say something, if he doesn't feed and water me, I'm like, hey, but the cows, all they can do is stand over there and gripe. Yeah, we've looked at a couple of stair chair lift things. My big thing that I'm concerned about having to give up is my garden tub. My garden tub. I'm like, oh, I love my tub, but garden tub's not as important as Wayne either. All right, guys, so I've showed you how I make my wallets, and I will be finishing up the refinements on it. And I'm not going to necessarily write a full formal pattern. I could, Beverly. Don't tempt me. Yeah, no problem, Beverly. We don't tempt me. I might be. Here's a crate for you, and here's a crate for you, and you deal with it. But I'm gonna say bye for now. Once plans are in place, it may affect my posting schedule for a few days as far as lives and stuff. But there's a couple of things. I can go live now from my phone, and I can go live from the road. I appreciate that, Tracy. This morning was event morning. But I can go live from the road, so maybe you guys will get a scenic tour of from here to wherever we move to. Yeah, might, Sylvia. Oh, Lynn, I'm sorry. I made wallets. We don't know for sure, Beverly, if we're going to stay in Florida, if we're going to move. My son and his daughter are in Michigan and Ohio. The oldest son, and I think it's the second oldest daughter. Excuse me, I didn't mean to burp in y'all's faces. Sorry. But we're thinking about moving near them. Nothing has been set in stone yet. But yeah, that's what we're thinking about, is maybe moving up there. I was bound and determined to stay in Florida. These last two hurricanes, though, the barometric pressure going up and down has really affected the arthritis. as bad as or worse than the cold would. So yeah, we've kind of decided that, the cold might be livable. We'll see, right? All right, Lynn. Well, you're more than welcome to watch the replays. Matter of fact, team replay is great. I appreciate it. And the community tab will be utilized to let you guys know I've not been on for some reason. And I can always jump on a live for a few minutes, just say, hey, what's going on? Yeah, it's an adventure. It's definitely a new adventure. So, and a lot depends on what the doctor tells Wayne today too. Because with the issues he's having, I don't know if they're going to tell him he has to medically retire right now, or I don't know, Beverly. That barometric pressure sure whooped my butt this last couple times. Oh, well, we might actually be within driving distance of one another, Tracy. Right now it's 17 hours to get to my son's, so we're kind of like, yeah, maybe. Maybe we'll end up in Tennessee or Indiana or something where it's kind of equidistant from everybody. Awesome, Lynn. I appreciate that. I definitely appreciate the thumbs up when you guys give them to me. Makes me feel like I'm paying attention. I even appreciate the thumbs down because it means somebody's engaging. I know who's doing it. And I'm just kind of laughing. Get over it. It's time. Go on, do something. But anyway, you guys all have a great day. I appreciate you watching and you joining me and your feedback about my wallets. And when I put this pattern is going to be a freebie to anybody, because I ain't no pattern writer. And then you guys can feedback any improvements or changes that you make to it if you don't mind, so that I can change my pattern up. Yeah, you gotta laugh. I mean, what are you gonna do? Sit here and cry? I'm not gonna cry over some dummy. I just I got other things to deal with. I got my husband to deal with. So, and I want to keep him around for a long time. All right. I love you guys and bye for now. I will see you on Monday, if not sooner. Bye, guys.